Yo, once again.
Yeah, it's your favorite friendly neighborhood Wash Gods tag team back once again. The Four Horsemen.
Effect, so let's begin.
In the ring. We are back once again. This is Wash Gods, episode 67. Shout out to Les Richter, Rams legend, played center. I just wrote that. He's a white guy, so I don't want to give him too much highlight, but shout out to him. He just made the Hall of Fame not too many years ago. So shout out Les Richter.
Shout out to, what's his name, DaCosta that we mentioned last episode. He retired shortly after that.
Oh, yeah. Forget that guy's name.
Daniel DaCosta?
Whatever his name was, yeah. He got released right after we mentioned his name, so shout out to him. Good job. Yeah, y'all picked him.
Nah.
Yeah.
I picked Hossein.
Oh, yeah. Y'all wrote it down, though.
I picked Star Wars.
So DaCosta's on you, brother.
Nah, I didn't pick
you
him,
undefeated.
Anyway, yeah, so let's get into the countries, I guess. That's usually how we do this shit.
Yep.
These United States, shout out to y'all. The United Kingdom, shout out to the Brits.
Big Brits.
Australia, Canada, Iceland.
Dipset in London was one of my favorite social media pieces at the time. Continue.
Iceland, Germany.
#1 black podcast in Iceland.
Ireland, Russia, India.
Shout out Proper 12.
France.
Shout out beignets.
Brazil, Norway, New Zealand,
Carnival.
Finland, Costa Rica,
City
Puerto
of God.
Rico, Romania, Spain, Ecuador,
Romania. Still don't know shit about y'all yet.
The Netherlands. I need to get to the Netherlands soon.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sweden, Singapore, Slovakia, Belgium, Italy, Qatar. Turkey, Hong Kong, Japan, Mexico,
shout out Istanbul,
South Korea, and most importantly,
shout
the
out
Saudis,
K-pop,
Saudi Arabia. Yeah, like I said, we are back once again. This is Wash Gods episode 67. Jesus fucking Christ!
A lot of numbers in the books, baby.
God damn.
Crazy.
Look at us. It's like a Paul Rudd clip.
Look at us. Look at us. I wish we had wings. Is it showing on that podcast too?
Yeah. But yeah, how was your week?
Shit, I can't even front, man. Our week was tumultuous. This was one of the work weeks where the owners of the restaurant were out of town, so everything was kind of resting on my shoulders, which is, I mean, pretty on par with the day-to-day occurrences in previous weeks. But every once in a while, they'll pop in supplies, things of that nature. If I have some last-minute requests, I can always shoot a text message or a phone call and get that done. Not the case this week. I had to rely kind of on coworkers to be able to get stuff and bring it to me in advance, so that way the following day it wasn't an issue. And, of course, there were hiccups, but nothing too major. The entire week went pretty well. I had that interview that we mentioned, I think, on the previous pod, which was that day. So that kind of threw things off, as I found out later on in the week. But I don't know. I look at things like all I'm responsible for now are the decisions I make. Like anything that happens based on the fact that I work with a team is sort of just part of the agreement. Like I can't necessarily expect to be in control of all facets of anything involving more than just myself. That's why I like individual sports. Like I'm into basketball during playoffs and championships, and other than that, it's just sports and our highlights for me.
I like team sports because, I mean, it's a lot tougher as adults, but when you are kids, like it's that part. I like the fact that I can make somebody better, or they can make me better. Like that's the thing I like about working in a team. It's just like it takes a certain person that's cut from a certain type of cloth to be able to be in a team setting. Like be able to put your ego to a side for a second and be like, all right, what's best for the situation.
It was wild. That's exactly the conversation I had. It's funny you describe it like that. Because I'm thinking to myself while you talking, like, we talking about basketball. And niggas playing basketball because they like basketball. Like, nobody likes to work. So in certain situations, if you just work in an office job where you filing papers, you got that one coworker that's always doing some shit that's counterproductive to the overall goal, there's no incentive for them to do better because they don't give a fuck about this job.
But I also look at it like when you play with a ball hog. It's just like sometimes that shit is very frustrating, man, because they don't have like.
But ball hogging,
they're not looking out for the team, bro. They just trying to look out for themselves. That's what I mean. Like a bad coworker to me is just like the same thing. It's like
it depends on the type of disruption they are. Like so, for instance, to that note,
it's like a selfish thing that I just feel like is always the ultimate problem.
That's really the case. You're right. But like I had to have a conversation with one of my coworkers, and I'm just saying, like, yo, it's not necessarily the fact that shit fucks up. I expect shit to fuck up, but what matters to me is how well we recover. And I'm thinking about the fact that there are times, especially at work, even on my worst day, because of the type of job it is, I know it's feasible for me to be able to bounce back. And to do that, shout out Juvie. Speaking of which, that hundreds.
That shit is crazy. That hundreds Hot Boy collab.
But yeah, man. Yeah. That being said, the work week was cool. Saturday I went back into work. It made today kind of interesting just because I forgot a bunch of shit to do, and we started behind the 8 ball. But I mean, my job is pretty much back on road, so to speak, because I don't necessarily have to shoulder all the responsibility. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting out of there. Like, my thought process as far as the interview was concerned was, I'm just gonna put on my 2 weeks. We'll figure out a job after that. I don't really have any plans or like intent on like doing anything extra other than the jobs I've already applied for. It just feels like everything is sort of temporary because, as we discussed earlier in previous pods, like, this has been the most familiar type of job outside of working in a boutique that I've had that's made a decent amount of money or like has the opportunity to make a decent amount of money. And now I'm kind of like, okay, like, we've reached a transition point. Like, I'm at a fork in the road as far as what I want to spend my time doing, like how I want to spend my time doing it, and to what vein I want to put all that energy in. So, yeah, that was my week.
Yeah, well,
wrap it up, Box. That shit was crazy.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right.
Yeah, my week was cool, man. Running theme. I didn't do much.
I
don't do much. Shout out to Benny Siegel.
Good little Rockefeller session before the pod.
Yeah. I worked out this weekend, which is like a big thing, man, for me, yo. Like, I
round of applause.
Fucking hooped 2 days in a row and shit. Like, it was like 90 degrees
you
outside.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
See, I just got 2 in the same day.
Yeah, hit the game winner and shit. Felt like a big man. Big man things.
Bullet.
Yeah, but shit, bruh. Like, man, being old, bruh, and working out 2 days straight in the sun. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I'm really spent, yo. That sun beat the shit out of me.
I said, imagine doing that, going to work the next day, and then doing something that night, and then considering it just like just a normal day. Like, tomorrow you're going to get up and do something else.
I thought about that too. Like, this half the reason why I hooped the second day was like, I remember when this shit was nothing to me, man. Like, this shit, like, I get up every day. I would hoop for 8 hours straight in the sun, go home, do some other shit, you know what I mean? Stay up all night, like, not even think about it.
I feel like when you get to a certain age, ailments are contagious.
Yeah,
like, because I saw when I was talking to Hayes, the last time I went over there to record shit, I think he had just finished his championship game, and we was talking, and I'm like, man, you straight, bro? You moving kind of slow. Like, man, my knees, bro. All this hooping and shit. I think to myself, like, man, my knees never hurt, for real. Like, I can't remember. Hoop Saturday, first game. By the end of the first game, I was like, yeah. Matter of fact, I hooped Friday and Saturday, now that I think about it. That's why I was hurt Saturday. Saturday, first game, I'm like, yeah, bro. I won, but y'all can have this next one. Knees hurt. By the time I came over here, I was nowhere near recovered, bro. Shit was painful. But, yeah, like, the idea of doing it in succession seems foreign now, where it was just like, we used to hoop all day.
Yeah.
12 to dark.
And it's just like a certain, I mean, I guess this is not me, like, fucking cracking science or some shit. But, and nothing like getting a good sweat in, man. Especially because I hadn't had like a really decent amount of like sometimes just being exhausted is like
refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing. Like, it almost rebuilds you.
Running is like that.
Yeah.
That's why as terrible as running is, it's dope when you get it done because it's like your body feels like it flushed everything. Like,
I always grew up on, like, you know what I mean? I never ran for like It's the only thing I ran out of was for fear. So like I need like a reason to run. Like so I can't just run. Like I mean I can, but like I don't get any excitement out of it. I could hoop all day, lose every game, and still play and not think nothing of it. Just because like the spirit of competition, I think is what like motivates me to like exert all of my energy.
The reason solo sports are dope is because like the practice part of
The
learning
whole
how
thing
to
of competing against yourself, it's like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about me. Who cares?
You don't, but you don't. Yeah.
That nigga can win, man. He got it.
That's the competition part is getting over that. Like, cause on certain things, like that's why, like cycling got me back into running. Cause like it was like cycling was like
I
you
don't
stop.
mind like ellipticals, treadmills, or even cool. I can do that. I don't want to really be outside with it. Like I don't want to be in the
If I get on the hill, bro, and I'm going up that bitch, especially at a single speed, you can't stop. There ain't no stopping. What you gonna stop it for?
Can't
Just
stop.
gonna make it work.
Won't stop.
Worse.
Take
that. But yeah, I understand. Like it is something liberating about kind of like, especially after a long time.
Yeah. I was super refreshed about just like, damn, I'm like, man, I really got good sweats in 2 days in a row. Like my body almost feels like 4% better. So, you know, if I take anything from this week, it's like, man, I'm going to exercise every once in a while. That's just some old nigga shit too. That's not even my wash moment, but yeah. It's like, oh, yeah.
Both of us got back and got ready to watch the game and like took turns stretching on the yoga mat. Like, all right, bro. It's enough.
I remember people always telling me like, yo, you got to stretch after you work out. That's the thing. I'm like, well, why the fuck would I do that? I'm like, oh, you know what? I got to wake up in the next morning. I'm going to have to get places. So
you go to sleep and all the muscles just start to contract. You just wake up in a ball.
Man.
With a crick in every single corner.
Yeah, you look like Robot before he switched bodies and shit. Just like, but
You
yeah.
walking like an Egyptian.
Yeah, but that was pretty much my week. I ain't do shit. Worked out a few times, but I guess we get into our watch moments. I guess for me, what I got?
I don't even think I have one. I got to come up with one on the fly.
Okay. Well, my watch moment is pretty much this whole podcast, man. My watch moment is I realize I hate everything, yo. And like sometimes I just be online and I just see somebody say something like, man, fuck this nigga, man. And I don't even know this person. I'm like, damn, man, why do I feel like this all the time? Like the whole get off my lawn shit is like, it's really set in now that I got older.
Get off my timeline.
Yeah, yep, exactly what it is. See somebody like just post some. I hate when people post like text of things of their feelings on IG, like in their stories. Like, yo, if you don't know a real woman, then you gonna lose them.
I don't mind one,
like,
bro.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind them.
Just tell that nigga, man. Like, stop posting it for me, man.
I agree 100%. Whatever I was saying, bro. Keep going. Go.
Like, stop telling the world about y'all issues, because we all know this post is literally for one person.
And you just
but
out
now
here,
I gotta deal with your bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it pisses me off so much. But that's just one of my things, man. Like in my old age, like I find a reason to hate everything. Like, sometimes somebody will just look at me the wrong way. Like, what the fuck? What's this nigga so happy about?
Oh, I say that all the time,
when it, like
bro.
somebody just has a resting smile. Like, this nigga's dumb. You're dumb. Like he got that dumb nigga smile. Like
I hate to see niggas enjoy themselves too much.
Yeah.
Like, don't dance.
The shit I just posted today with the BoJack clip. It's like, yo, he's too dumb to understand he should be miserable. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of people. It's like, oh, shit. But, yeah, that's my watch moment. I just hate everything.
Motherfuckers like roller skate on their IG and shit.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. Shit like that. It's like, fuck. I got to break my phone or some shit. Like, I don't even know if that's a way to get at them, but it just feels like it. Like, I need to hurt myself.
One of the best Joe Budden quotes is, resentment is like pissing on yourself. Nobody feels it but you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man. Why the fuck are y'all so happy?
Yeah. Smelling like straight piss over here. But, yeah, that's my watch moment.
Rancid. I'm trying to think what my watch moment might be. What did I do this week? I made washed and gave me washed vibes. I realized probably like it would probably be Sunday. Like Sunday I did absolutely nothing, and I intended on doing absolutely nothing. I got up and linked up with Taji and went to the grocery store. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't pick this from jump. Yeah, like went to the grocery store, waited till we got there at a point in time where we would link up and synchronize grocery lists.
That's a washing moment on your ass, bro. When niggas link at the grocery store.
Oh, boy, with all our kids. Walked around and talked about recipes, tried out some new recipes, you know.
Yeah.
It's not even, I don't even know why Warren laughing. This is really what I brought you some. Let me know what you think. But it's just like, yo, I don't do none of the like active shit. Like
cool
the
shit,
brunching.
yeah, the
like,
brunches and shit.
I'm not doing no day parties. Like that was the day party, and it was early evening. Like I'm not getting up.
It's crazy that you said that because I was looking at somebody's stories.
Y'all put on linens to sweat. That shit crazy.
I was looking at somebody's stories that I fuck with, and they was at a party and shit. I'm just like, man, you know what? I don't even know if I know how to do that type of shit no more. Like, just go to a random place and just party with strangers and shit.
There's a lot of pictures of me recently out where I'm pointing at the camera, and I look back at pictures of me with, like, no hair, where we were, like, at Drunken Unicorn and shit, and this is me pointing at the camera. I'm like, damn, bro, I don't even know how to do it anymore. All the pictures Taji took at the What's the Face event, if I'm not candid, I'm doing something ridiculous. It's not even a lot. It's just like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Yeah. It's a picture with me, you, and Will. And all of us got up one finger.
It's always?
No, it's like this. It's not even that. Yeah. You remember when niggas used to be like, one. Yeah. What's that mean?
I don't know. It felt right at the time, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
We was about to fuse.
Yeah.
That's how black people fuse.
Yeah. Better watch out,
shit.
nigga.
Yeah. Sean Tinks.
Yeah, but that was my wash moment, man. I didn't do shit. I just cooked. Took my daughter home. We sat there and drank, played Smash Brothers. Super Mario Kart.
Oh, word.
Mario Kart.
Mario.
Yo.
I'm a Mario. I'm gonna win. Yeah, but I guess we get into the Scottie Pippen shit. How much time we got left?
Like 12.
All right, cool.
All right, bet.
All right, shout out Scottie Pippen, man.
But check these boys, nigga.
Yeah, apparently has a book dropping. I don't remember. I think it's like second shot or backup player or some shit. There's some play
33
on like,
and me.
That might be the name of the pod. But whatever the case is,
33 and me.
It's the excerpt.
Two things.
Yeah. It's an excerpt in the book where he mentions one of the like real pivotal plays, I believe, that lost that game, where it was a year Michael Jordan was playing baseball, and they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. It came down to the last shot, and they gave it to Tony Kukoc. They had Scottie Pippen do the inbound pass, and I mean, I guess 20, 30 years later, this motherfucker's still mad.
In his feelings.
Yeah. Shout out to Drake. So he kind of hints at, he kind of says that Phil Jackson is racist for, you know, giving the shot to Tony Kukoc, who was a rookie at the time. And, you know, very hype rookie. He wasn't selected that high, though. But he was very touted out of Croatia. He was, like, literally called the Croatian Michael Jordan. So,
Great white hope.
Kukoc had game, though. Shout out Kukoc. But,
got a Kukoc autograph.
Oh, word?
On a Miami ball, because that was all I had from Six Flags.
It wasn't even Kukoc, just some tall, random white dude. yeah, sure.
It was Serbia. Fuck are you even doing here? Sign this ball. Don't pay attention to the Miami Hurricane logo on the front. Just sign it. Right over there.
They did always have those Miami Hurricane balls at Six Flags.
Miami Hurricanes, Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, L.A. Lakers. And then they eventually just became like L.A. and Miami.
Yeah, it was the main two balls everybody had, Paul. Yeah, but I always look at that shit with the NBA. Like, in the bigger point, it's like, you know, I saw, shout out to Becky Hammon. She looks like she's going to be the first female coach in the league, but I hate making shit racial. Or do I love it? Because I make everything racial. But
and I love it.
Oh, no.
Chill.
I don't. If we have a league that's 80 to 90% black men, and we could say realistically 40 to 50% of those black men probably were raised in single parent households. So why would, who you think they grew up listening to?
White women.
Like, why wouldn't a black woman get hired first as a head coach job? Like, there are plenty great. I'm sure there's been somebody going out for that job. I can't jump out there and say that somebody's been passed up, but the Lisa Leslies of the world, the Cynthia Coopers, you know, I can't think of any other players because I don't know enough about the WNBA. But there are like a lot of Cheryl Miller.
Dang, shit.
You know what I mean? Why aren't those people getting, like, these black men grew up listening to black women. So that, to me, if you're gonna venture into that side of things, why not elect black women first?
The argument will be solidified when we find out how many black women are actually interested in becoming head coaches. Because I mean,
if there's a whole league full of black women, I'm sure some of them are interested in head coaches.
But I definitely see more of
that
the
used to be
commentator role.
Yeah, but I hear that used to be the argument with black men after they retired. It's like, oh, they're just not going out for the jobs. Like, all right.
I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying we got to figure out like how many times they have. Like I just don't know. I didn't know about Becky Hammon. I just looked her up.
You got to sign an NDA.
Nah, they've been fucking promoting. They kind of promote Becky Hammon, like, you know what I mean. She's the Spurs assistant coach for anybody that doesn't know, but she's been going out for a lot of head coaching jobs. I believe she interviewed for the Portland Trailblazers job. They ended up hiring Chauncey Billups. Shout out to him.
Congrats.
Yeah, man, I do think. I mean, I'm not going to say Phil Jackson is a racist. Getting back to the main point, but I do think like NBA overall still has a race problem because like we shouldn't have 3 to 4 black head coaches. It should be 80% black, just like the league is.
Yeah.
If anything, it should be weird when a white dude gets hired.
Cause where?
Yeah.
From what class?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the case with I think LeBron's
like, they don't even try to hide
control the narrative of the teams that he's on because he wants them to get used to somebody else having the, you know what I'm saying, the ball, so to speak. And that's why I'm not mad at it. In order for everybody to say like, oh, the way he moved, he's just unloyal. Like, the greater good kind of is for him to go to a place, change the culture, and then them have to deal with the fact that he makes all the bargaining chips.
And I know the owners don't really like the fact that players have more control of each team and how the league moves now. But
I mean, Masters would.
Yeah, exactly. But I just, I do think that's an issue. Like I can't say if Phil Jackson is racist specifically, but overall, it's like the NBA. I mean, all leagues have a race problem. I mean, the NBA may be the most progressive, but that's not really saying much.
And part of the thing with white supremacy, I remember this. It was this book I read by Neely Fuller Jr. I can't remember the name of it because it's a really, really long name. But it talked about how, like, in life, white supremacy works a certain kind of way. And if you break it down into certain smaller systems, whether it be your work environment or, like, church or the dynamic you have with your social group in your neighborhood, depending on the context and the type of races you have in there, you see it kind of unfold the same way. So there's going to be an issue. Like, we saw it with the NFL 2 years ago in grand fashion. Like, now we're seeing it in smaller ways in the NBA. And usually when there's some social issue of the time, like, you see it start to flare up. But I think it's just becoming more consistent with players voicing their opinion about the treatment and overall disposition of, like, the white overlords.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, man. I don't want to jump ahead of topics and shit, but it's going to be interesting how history plays this one because there are a lot of fields that I feel like we're gaining. It does feel like we're gaining, like, ground on, and what I know from history is, like, every time we start gaining too much ground, you drop the bomb on me, baby. You know what I mean? So as much as I love progress, that shit scares the shit out of me a lot of times because, I mean, yeah, man. Well, I just seen what happened. So shout out to Scottie Pippen, man. Watch your bitch too, dog.
Future look bleak.
You writing all these books, nigga.
Better write a love letter, nigga. Buy some flowers. Do something, bud.
Yeah, on that note, we'll be right back. Oh, yeah. Part deuce. Yeah, we back once again, man. Watch Guards, episode 67.
Mm-hmm.
Still in tune with the goons.
Yeah. What he said. So a building collapsed in Miami.
Yeah.
There's no real way to soft lead that in. Miami, I don't know who to blame. Prayers go out to all those that are missing, all those that have been lost.
R.I.P. to all the people that they found thus far. Apparently, I think last time I checked, the death toll was at 9.
Yeah,
but
which is astounding because a building fell down.
But I think they're hedging their bets.
100 something.
Yeah. Because the missing toll, it's crazy. It's like 100 something missing. So
150 last I saw.
So,
a building collapsed. I want to say what was it, about a week ago in Miami.
It looked like one of those expensive high rises.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that I saw a lot of people saying about it is like shoddy work is like that type of thing is known to happen like in certain like countries, or I guess I'm not supposed to say that no more. Bleep that.
Yeah.
In undeveloped regions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Miami being set place. I'm trying to follow you.
Nah, but that's something that's supposed to happen there, but not in Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Taji got his first bleep. He can say it, so can I. But yeah, I don't know why. I want to say it would surprise me if this was in Wisconsin somewhere. It doesn't surprise me as much because it's in Miami, because I feel like there's probably been a pressure to overdevelop like there is here. Yeah. I remember driving down Memorial Drive and seeing all these condos they were getting ready to build. And I'm like, yo, and next to ones that they've already built. And I'm like, yo, are these all plywood? Like the whole front just wood. Like,
and not like upping the infrastructure too.
Nah, it's just sitting on top of ground, on top of red clay. You know anything about red clay, that shit wash away.
Yeah.
Like, and one thing that you hear people talk about, especially here in the South, people from up north moved down south because they had brick houses, not that cedar. I mean that cinder block built-in basements that you see in row houses or like duplexes.
My pops used to say about all the new houses is like, because he was kind of in construction, he was like, man, all that stucco shit. They was been in a house out of stucco for a long time. It's like it's not even like real material, like, and that shit easily like erodes away.
That's why you see a lot of houses you can kind of date. This is washed as fuck. But they talk a lot about aluminum siding. Like you'll see houses that are mostly aluminum siding. That's basically a two-story trailer.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not, and people are like, yo, you at least want a brick foundation with aluminum siding on like the upper levels. But other than that, even that's built on wood. Like this stuff is just like pressed wood. Like you hit it with a brick hard enough, it'll break. And they're gonna throw walls and put outlets and all that shit. Like that washes away. So I don't know, man. Like in a city like Miami, I think the pressure would be to build a lot. And hurricanes happen all the time. Like who knows what type of damage these buildings have probably seen in like just a regular hurricane season.
Some would say you would build sturdier houses because you're living.
Some would say you wouldn't live in a hurricane alley.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. And that's the thing about a lot of this rich shit. A lot of this shit looks good, but it's like actually pieces of shit. Like there's no quality in it. Like I mean, that's kind of America in general. Like that's like our
claim to fame.
Yeah, that's our insignia. You know, it's not good. Then it's
our
probably
bat signal.
Yeah, you know, it's made
bullshit.
in America. Yeah. The Donald Trump fucking bat signal.
Pepe the Frog just shining in the sky.
Like, as much as I hate Donald Trump, he is really the actual encapsulation of what America is. As much as people want to hate it, that's how he got elected. Because,
President
like,
business.
Yeah, just full of shit. Like, America's completely full of shit. Like, we don't have real businesses. I was watching this shit. This is a long tangent, but I was watching this shit called The China Hustle. It's on Hulu. It's a really dope documentary. It's made by the dudes that made Smartest Guys in the Room. Talk about the documentary a lot. It's about Enron. It's basically the precursor to The Big Short.
Big Short, yeah.
But they were just talking about the Wall Street system and how, I mean, man, as much as every time I've learned more shit about Wall Street, it's like, yo, this shit is really nothing. They make money out of nothing. Like, it's like full of shell companies and shit. Like, it's complete bullshit. And it's like, that's what the high rise is. It's like, yeah, nigga. And when shit hits the fan, like, this shit will collapse like our government or like our fucking financial infrastructure does. A lot of times, like it collapses every 10 years.
Our social infrastructure. We saw how like a common cold, like a flu season, took out not the common cold. Let me not belittle it like that because we get flagged already. But
for sure,
we saw how COVID-19 came through and wiped out all of our ability to make money, fend for ourselves. Like, oh my gosh, bro! The first thing that goes missing is toilet paper. Y'all are not from poverty, bro. You never wiped your ass with newspaper. They don't even use newspaper for shit no more. It was everywhere. I wasn't even tripping. Just ball that shit up, put it in a plastic bag, throw it outside. In your neighbor's yard.
Yeah. I think we're just a very fragile nation in general. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because we're all just, you know, we're taught to be full of shit, too. Yeah. It's like that whole thing about putting your best face forward and all of that shit is kind of like, hey, man, be full of shit.
Give it
for
the
public.
Old team goal. Some
like,
shit.
Whatever you do, don't
Uncle
let
Sam wants you.
Tighten up your bootstraps.
It's like, don't let the world know that you're in pain and you hate this shit. Because everybody like collectively set this shit together, then
somebody gonna find out.
We gonna have an uproar like we had. Like once everybody sat down, everybody's like, you know what? This shit is kind of bullshit. Everything. Let's fuck up shit. Like, you know, that's why
they killed Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, y'all see y'all getting fucked too, right?
Yeah.
We should probably sit down, have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's
a long tangent, but let's get
into it super black.
Let's get into the flooding back cities, huh? Even more black shit, man. This is crazy, bro. Like when you sent me this video, I couldn't sleep anyway, so I was just up.
Yeah. And, I heard okay, so basically the backstory is, let me go to my YouTube history so I can give you the accurate description of this next topic. But apparently there was a one of those let me go to a text message. Sorry guys. There we go. The secret history of flooding black towns to make lakes. There was her name, I'm about to give it to you, Amber Ruffin. Yeah. Amber Ruffin has a...
Shout out to Amber Ruffin, man. I feel like her page is really dope.
I went through a few things.
Yeah.
The going to the Olympics and the defund the police piece was pretty cool. And this one, after that I passed out because it was 4 a.m. and I've been up.
I also feel like those videos, those type of videos are very much needed in black culture because like we always watch those like history or listen to those history podcasts and stuff like that, and I always think like, man,
they don't talk about no black shit.
Yeah. But anyway,
coming soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, they talked about the Oscarville story that we mentioned on the podcast previously. They also talked about Central Park. Central Park, excuse me, was a predominantly black community, and I want to say the early 1900s,
I believe. And,
yeah,
it was actually
like 1912, around that time.
It was actually 2 black communities. They flooded one, and black people moved to a different part of Central Park, which is present day Central Park.
Yeah, and they bulldozed it.
That's where the reservoir came from?
Yeah. The reservoir came first.
The reservoir was one, and then the park was second.
The park itself.
Yeah.
And that's not to mention like the island of Manhattan in general, like, you know what I mean. So, and one of the things that I saw, what was it? I think it was King Chip. Shout out King Chip posted on his IG. Like there are no such things as Native Americans. Like there were Aboriginal people from America, like that all had their different colors, creeds, and tribes. Some of those were black. And they're showing like I think it was like the Seminole logo. It was like, yo, this don't look like a Native American. It's like a black man. Like, and they're showing pictures like that were interpreted to make that logo, and they're showing all the people that like that were in that area, different types of Indians that look like black people. And I think about all the times that we've seen how many ways that the United States has displaced us. And you notice the pattern with.
Okay, man. So as soon as you said that, man, I always do this every episode, but fuck it, here we go again. I watched this documentary called Hillbilly. It's about like the Appalachian people, and
West Virginia?
I know, yeah, not even just West Virginia. Like that's the thing. Like I think it's a big misconception about who they are. You know, I'm not the guy that's going to cape for those type of people. But at the same time, I thought about what you were talking about. It's like there's so much money in division because like when I looked at the stories of those people, like their stories are black as a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's a time back in the 1920s, like kind of that era where coal miners like went up to the mountains and like they ran, you know, trying to get everything out of that motherfucker, all the minerals. So all the people that were living in there got flooded because, you know, they were doing all this bullshit drilling at the time. So like they got fucked and the government just left them hanging. So like they have that anger, kind of like the same anger black people have at the government, where it's like, man, they left us fucked, bro.
Yeah.
So they don't even really identify with the rest of the whites. So when they see like, you know, liberals on TV and talking about like, yo, y'all are the problem. They feel like attacked. You know, same way we do when we see certain shit on TV.
That's crazy. Trump's whole campaign was built off getting jobs for the coal miners.
Fuck them.
Yeah, and then that's what the whole documentary is about. It's kind of about it's like the separation between races, or not even just cultures in general. Because like
divide between progress.
Yeah, because that's where the money is. That's how you like. That's where the business is. Like the division of everything.
And social class.
Because nobody takes time to look at the other side. Like me, like when I saw. What's crazy is I saw that Hillbilly documentary maybe for like 2 years on Hulu. I like fucking Hillbilly documentary.
I don't give a fuck.
But when I watched it, I'm like, you know what? This shit was a good watch. Like,
yeah, when you live,
I never heard their side of things. Like I always had this misconception about what those people thought. I thought they was all fucking pitchfork people, but it's not necessarily that. Like, it's a little bit deeper than that. And I think that goes for a lot of things.
When you live a life, especially like in the United States, because we've talked about the importance of travel and the way it affects perspective, and then you grow up in the United States, which is kind of insular in thought. As a black person, like you don't have time to really consider other people's ideas and opinions, because once you start getting woke or educated, familiar with your history, like you just are immediately on the defensive. I'm telling somebody to watch Exterminate All the Brutes, and they're just talking about like, yeah, I can't hate white people more right now. Like I just can't do it. Like, and it's like it is kind of exhausting, because I remember Draft telling me about it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to watch it. Yeah, but I did, and I was astounded at not only the clarity in which they explained it, but the degree in which people will go to push an agenda just based on the fact that that's what they want. And I mean, I don't know, with all the things that we talked about as far as Fauci and the vaccine, like I don't put shit past anybody at this point. Like you kind of look at it from the standpoint of like, oh, okay, y'all flood cities, y'all inject people with diseases, like y'all allow like war criminals to come in and like build on the backs of society and become like basically like exonerated of all their crimes. And that's just all right, because it's for the advancement of like whatever agenda you have going.
And what was really crazy about this shit when I watched the video is like I knew about Oscarville and I probably knew about a few other cities, but apparently there's like over 100 cities like this happened to. And I remember saying this like on an earlier podcast about like I do feel like there's a little bit of arrogance in the youth. That everybody feels like, yo, what if we just get together and vote and we just do this? We'll figure it out. It's like, not, you don't
There's
think
a plan for that.
Like people tried that, people tried everything. Like you got to give black people more credit. Like we've done this shit before. Like
I was thinking
established
about
cities, we established infrastructures on our own before, but we got fucked like on the way. Like sometimes, like a lot of times, most of the time. That's why I said like progress is a little bit scary, because you know. That's what happens.
To that note, like I was thinking about the Tulsa bombing, just because it's been familiar, and I think we mentioned it. Like, what was that on Drink Champs, where they talked about like the GAT band is an acronym for the streets that like basically were the borders.
It was Breakfast Club. Yeah,
it was the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
But there, what's it called? Something. Georgia Action Pine, and it was kind of surreal, because I mean, like, damn, these niggas had to make a Negro spiritual, make it a pop song, in order to, and it took 30 years, like, for some people to figure it out, myself included, like, that all the significance that's packed into not only the song but the name of the band. I'm like, man, like, we've been doing this shit for a while now. Like, we've been figuring it out and meet a roadblock at every turn. So it's not like you said, you kind of got to give us more credit. We done got so used to saying the same shit over and over again. We done made it musical. Like, it makes me think about the Pac shit where he's talking about, like, yo, after a while, like you don't just knock. If you hungry, you don't just knock on the door and ask. Like,
eventually coming through that motherfucker blast.
Right. You know what I mean? And I think this is just kind of like what we've seen lately in society has just been a byproduct of, like, a lot of knocking.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, man. Shout out to Amber Ruffin though. Really enjoyed the little shorts that she puts out. It's very like what's the guy's name on HBO? British guy.
John
Oliver-esque. Yeah.
Man, everybody's got one of those shows. It's kind of the thing now. Like,
yeah. But it's good to see somebody black.
Yeah.
It's another
perspective.
It's a few joints that does that. But shout out to them. I guess we'll get into this McAfee joint. I don't even know his first name.
John?
Might be.
John McAfee.
He's been putting out a set of cryptic messages for a while now. Apparently he has access to some information.
I want that list.
Yeah. He hinted at the fact that he has a list of government officials that pretty much control the entire United States. Like, one thing he highlighted was, that I always thought about too, is like, that's always been my thing. He talked about how government officials are basically figureheads. Because at the end of the day, they can enact a law, but there's always going to be regulations that are attacked on top of that law. So at the end of the day, whatever shit is legal, we can put little reasons, whatever, we can put little caveats. Yeah, we can put caveats within the law where it's kind
works
of
to
null
everybody,
and void.
Yeah, to anybody who ever has an agenda, their advantage.
So now he's dead.
Surprise, surprise.
He was on the run for a long time, and eventually they found him, I guess, because some pictures he posted and don't play. Yeah, or whoever found him. He also had a tweet that said, "Yo, I would never commit suicide." I think they wrote his death as a suicide. He's like, and if anything ever happens to me, just know I would never commit suicide. So, yeah. So it was actually him and his wife. I'm not gonna say too much, you know what I mean? Because I want to live. But the messages have always been sent. You know what I mean? That's one thing I can always say about living here. Message has been sent for a while. Whether you want to say Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey got deported, but you know what I mean?
Fred Hampton,
Stokely Carmichael, another person got deported. Like, they can get rid of you one way or the other, And hey, I'm with you guys, man. I should have wore my fucking Star Spangled Banner shorts, but 50 stars and stripes or some shit. Go Trump. I'm trying to live, nigga.
Follow with me. I had no comment, man. I feel like I saw a documentary on Hulu about John McAfee, and he seemed like a wild boy. Like, and indeed, he was a wild bull.
Some would say that was them trying to paint a narrative ahead of time.
I would give you that, but
some would say. I wouldn't say that though.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with good old Hulu.
Controls the media, controls the mind.
Malcolm X. But I think he didn't. If he wrote that he didn't have a reason to kill himself, I think that's a very poignant thing to say when you pop up dead, regardless of whether you wild or not. Like, I won't say that his lifestyle got him killed. I definitely think it got him arrested. Whatever got him killed probably has something to do with the fact that this joker ran an internet securities company and probably had all the back doors. Like, you talking about a keymaster? Like,
yeah.
Well, we're really living in Matrix Reloaded. Like,
I think that is like the problem, or maybe the solution. However you want to look at it is, I guess with capitalism, we put so much equity into private like companies, so it's just some guy that has control of all this. It's not like I don't know if you feel more comfortable with government entities, but it's just one guy. Like something like Facebook, it's just a few guys. You know what I mean? And now they're having fucking hearings about this website he created, or whether it was MySpace or Twitter. It's Jack. It's just like a few guys with this shit. It's just like, and they can control so much shit within everything. Like I said, he controls the media, controls the mind. So like you can paint narratives and control how everybody looks, and or you have access to some. I mean, if Jack has access to everybody's DMs. Think about that for a second. Like everybody, like whoever the fuck has been slipping on Twitter in the nation or in the world, I'm sure it's a way he can just open those shits up. You know what I mean? And so I think that
that's
definitely
a lot of power.
Yeah, it makes
That's
you a
a whole lot of
dangerous
power.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely makes you a very dangerous man in the eyes of a lot of people. So yeah, no one man should have all that power. I couldn't even imagine, like, because I wouldn't even want that. Like, I think about people that get in those positions. Like, that shit is like a prison. Because like you can't really say what you want. Like, not that I want to get in interviews and just wild out, but you just never know when you're being taped or when you're being recorded, and there's always dirt on you. So on the flip side of the government shit, it's like, man, maybe he got that shit unlawfully. Like maybe he did backdoor shit. Maybe he shouldn't have this information. That's the thing too.
I think that's the argument. In any situation where somebody has a lot of power and other people have to refer to him for information, even about how to run it, like that shit, it heavy weighs the crown. Like you probably end up in a situation where you like, oh shit, you probably don't even mean to find some shit.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Like sometimes you just find some information on some random shit, and you're like, oh fuck, what do I do with this shit? A nigga like me close that shit up and act like I never seen it.
Like that Hey Arnold episode we saw, bro.
I'm like Homer in the bushes, nigga.
This nigga, banana and a strawberry on the block, nigga. Just drop off a bag of money. You better leave that shit, boy. Don't touch it, nigga.
Yeah, man. One thing I thought about this shit too is like, man, you can tell he's a white guy, man. Black people see that type of shit and like, oh shit, I ain't supposed to see this shit, boy. No. But I guess we can get into this fashion talk.
Yeah, man. There was a what was it, Hot Snobriety?
Yeah.
Article about is fashion collaborating itself to death.
Had like a New Balance with like a Tim bottom and like a Air Jordan.
It was a collage of chaos.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But I mean, this has been foreshadowed for a long time. I mean, anybody who's kind of into streetwear, like, kind of knows that high fashion or larger companies have always been nitpicking from the best of streetwear. The smaller companies that have a following in smaller markets, they try to soak that up by doing a collab. And Nike was one of the premier. All the sneaker companies were really one of the premier businesses that use that marketing ploy with artists, from Futura to Cause to Mr. Cartoon, Stash. All these underground artists that had a market always got shoe deals, and they always tended to draw a certain type of crowd to Nike. And Nike kept that type of narrative going, even with other companies like Supreme or Riccardo Tisci, people who were designers, or Givenchy, I mean. But now it is kind of getting to a place where you're running out of shit to do. Like, you got McDonald's collaborations with artists who have
BTS.
Yeah.
They just did the BTS meal. I just saw that commercial.
And so, like, all of that shit is
that shit ain't number chicken nuggets and fries.
Yeah, it's like, yo, what do you?
Different sauces.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you doing? Like, why even go to the length to pull in this narrative? And you sell it with a T-shirt, and now I'm kind of like, I gotta go get it now. But it's just funny. Like,
I think
they're selling everything. I'm not gonna say anything specific, but some of these collabs just are kind of like, for what?
It's funny how, like, So Ben sent me this shit yesterday. It was somebody posted this shit. I think it was like a news, like or maybe some hyped up Twitter nigga, but somebody with a big following. But they reposted Kawhi in the Joe Freshgoods 7-Eleven shirt, and it was like, look at Kawhi, like just rocking a T-shirt from the gas station, not knowing he rocking some Joe Freshgoods shit because they just think. But I thought.
At the same time, that's one of the things about like doing those type of collabs. You know, I fuck with Joe Freshgoods because they will pimp you, like, and what you see in a lot of these situations is like the higher you get up, like the more pimping going. Like you kind of get put in a position where whatever you say in a public setting becomes the subject for debate if you fall in a bad light. And this is just fashion. So like collaborating with these companies as a smaller company does come with a lot of risk reward ratio. But for the sake of just doing shit, I think that you as smaller creatives, you need to be selective with what you do and how you do it. Just don't take the check and just try to do some shit for, you know what I'm saying, like St. Ives malt liquor, because it's there. Like all of that shit kind of look funny depending on the type of artist you plan on being in the future.
Shout
I think he's doing Corona now.
Shout out to Travis.
19 Crimes. He got a rose out.
Stepped it up. Yeah. Shout out to Travis Scott too. He just dropped I think Dior. Yeah, I think it's Dior collab, I believe. Dropped a Pop Smoke tea. I'm assuming the proceeds are going to his family, hopefully. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, we just talked about the Hot Boys collab earlier in the podcast, and I think that shit is dope. So it's really like I think it's a tight rope walk you kind of got to do with that shit. Like you said, like
all the aspects of
over collaboration is a thing, because like now everything is a collab. Like nobody just comes up with something. That's the thing, because if Ricardo Tisci just did a sneaker, athletic sneaker by himself, I don't know if it would have sold like the Forces did or whoever. You know what I mean?
And that's where collaboration does kind of meet that sweet spot. Like you're excited to see something like that, but it's kind of like one of the collabs that I saw that I was like, why? North Face Gucci, and I'm not saying that it's a bad, but why though? Like what
it's
for?
North
what?
Face Louis too, ain't it? Or no? I'm tripping. It
might
not be. I'm tripping. Yeah.
Who? Supreme Louis.
That's
Supreme
what it is.
Louis.
Yeah.
But that's crazy though, because Supreme is a different kind of brand. Like North Face is an outdoorsy white company that niggas made hot.
Yeah.
You throwing Gucci on it. It like I said, even from that, like that, I feel like that's two companies pimping the market, because that's not culturally significant to anybody but niggas. Like, right?
It's so weird too. I always see these like crazy collabs. I'm thinking like, who buys this shit? Like I see a jacket for like a stack. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is just buying $1,000 jacket like every 3 months?
Niggas.
Where the fuck do they live and what do they do for a living? And can
Scam.
they hire me? Yeah. I guess that must be the way. Like, but who? You know, never mind. I don't want them to McAfee me. But on that note, we'll be right back. Like we always do this time. Yeah, we get into what we've been watching and listening to.
He took and rehearsed it.
Maybe I'm just good at this shit.
No. Hey, what? Either way. You do you.
Mom's cooking over here, man.
Mama's cooking, but mama's son.
Yeah.
Bam just asked me about that shit. Y'all talk about mama's cooking yet? What about it? Nigga, I'm trying to be safe.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said earlier, I watched the Hillbilly Documentary. It's on Hulu. Like I said, it's a very interesting watch. Other than that, I watched these What Happened To docs. They're on YouTube. Hell yeah. Yeah. But it's just some random guy overseas. I'm not really going to shout him out because they're not that good. But if you're really bored, they got episodes about the band, Blue Cantrell, Miss Jade, Vita, like Charlie Baltimore, just all the people you're like, whatever happened to? And your answer's right there, man. So, yeah, I just been going through all those. What really pissed me off about those shits, though, is like I can tell somebody not from America is doing it because they'd be like, what happened to Cameron? I'm like, nigga, I see Cam on IG every day. Nigga, what you talking about, man?
Yeah, fucking his neighbor.
Like, he's good, bro.
Beating up Queen Slip.
Yeah. My nigga Cam good, but He does do a lot of people that I'm like, oh yeah, whatever happened to fucking Vita or Charlie Baltimore or like
Vita the
Murder Inc. Murder Inc.
Murder Inc. Vita. Nah, that's Cedar.
Yeah, that is Cedar.
What happened to Cedar? It would be dope though. We got to figure out what happened to Cedar.
Yeah, that's Cedar.
What happened to his from the street, bro?
He been around. I've been seeing him around.
Since
I believe
he
live in Atlanta.
Since how high?
Never mind. I don't want to throw him out there.
Oh. No.
Than that, yeah, I watched.
I seen Joe Claire in Atlanta.
That's what I'm thinking of. Man, my bad. Yeah, it's Joe Claire. Shout out Joe Claire.
Yeah. Joe Claire solid.
I think that's pretty much it. I watched the latest episode of Loki as always. It was cool, man. I'm still trying to see where they're going with this shit, bro. Like,
Good review. Episode 3.
Yeah.
It finally got into his groove a little bit.
Yeah, but they still.
This is kind of still slow. Like the end of the last episode made this episode less climactic for me. I was like, oh shit, he really walked through there. Like, and now, cause I swore he was just gonna be a bitch and stay. Like, I swore he was gonna be a bitch and stay.
Now I feel like they're gonna be camped out on this motherfucking planet until the end of the series. And I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
There's only 3 more.
Yeah. Oh, is it? It's only
It's
60.
like one of the shortest ones.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well,
Yo, so
that pisses
at
me
what
off.
point do we have to like? Is there the Star Wars moment where like he mouth kisses other Loki?
Himself.
I don't see that.
They did sit there and talk about.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing with the idea definitely. Like,
Well, they both said that they were bi.
Oh, you about to get it?
Yeah.
The Eternals, they about to go full.
I noticed that too. You notice how they've got all these like
I
parallel
know,
conversations about like society and religion based on the TVA or like.
According to like other places, lore of Loki, who's actually the god of mischief, it's kind of insinuated in other cultures' lore that he would be that type of
Gender fluid.
God of mischief. That's why.
It definitely makes
Hereditary.
sense.
I don't know why they went like kind of out of their way to
Hereditary. The whole premise of Hereditary. See that?
pay me.
But yeah. Oh yeah, Loki like
Riches to the Conjurer.
Well, I guess only 3 episodes left, so that's kind of disappointing. But we'll see what happens with the rest of these Marvel series too. Speaking of which, because we got Blade coming up next, right?
Who's playing Blade? Mahershala?
Yeah. So we'll see how they do that. Like,
Is it the movie or like the show? It's gonna be a
this is
series.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think that's about it. I haven't watched too much as far as what I've been listening to. Like we said before, been on my bad boy shit. So been around the world remix, Get Money remix. Oh, I went on IG, saw a whole bunch of sluts instead of music.
They go together.
Like I said before, You Can't Stop the Rain, man. Still rocking with that. Dope Boys in the Trap, shout out to T.I. Quiet Storm, Mobb Deep, Keep the Receipt, Kanye, and ODB.
Oh, Dirt McGirt.
Yeah, Dirt McGirt, actually. Temporary Relief, shout out State Property. Public Enemy #1, the Beanie Siegel mixtape. Shout out to Beans. It's from a really dope mixtape. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, shout out to, I think I mentioned this song before, but they just did a tribute to DMX on the BET Awards. But shout out to Griselda. Shout out to what's the song called? Hood Blues by DMX. It features Griselda.
All right. What I've been watching. I watched a lot of movies this week. I watched Avatar with my daughter and my uncle. It was a really good movie. I thought again, like, not to even to make this blackity black, but
I'm black, y'all.
I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black and I'm black, y'all. But like, man, they always find some way to like recreate like people of color's connection with nature. Like, they just made niggas blue. Like,
It's more palatable to whites.
it can't be
Not
black.
Yeah, blue though.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
because I'm having to explain it to a child, it's like, yo, so they're aliens? I was like, no. They're aliens, bro. Like, the blue people live there. I was like, oh, snap. I said some shit. But
That's why I like Dances with Wolves better now. Because at least I
I
had
like
it.
Fern Gully better.
yeah, Fern Gully was that lick. Yeah. I'm a 5 Goes West fan myself. But yeah. Anyway, I watched Avatar. I watched Nobody. Did you see Nobody? Anybody familiar?
But I didn't want to pay for it, though.
Yeah, I don't think I paid for it.
What is that? What's that?
It's an action comedy, dark action comedy. Who's in it?
Oh, boy from Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. Christopher Lloyd is a nice surprise in it. RZA, who I assumed was the guy on the phone, and he pops up later. I kind of fell asleep on it, but from what I saw, it was really, really good. I really just missed the climax, pause. But
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. If I was gonna watch it, I'm definitely not watching it now. But
it's good. It's good. It's really like it's like have you ever seen Kurt Russell in Falling Down?
I don't think you want to see a history of
Ooh, Kurt
It's like Kirk Douglas. Is it Kirk Douglas?
Yes, Kurt Douglas.
Yeah, Kirk Douglas in Falling Down. It's like that, but funnier. Like it's like that, but funnier. Like, so, yeah, and it's a good premise. Like I like Hitman movies in general. So, like they're
overdone.
It is, but like this take on it is kind of unique. So I mean, fuck it. If you don't watch it, I liked it.
Ain't another Hitman movie out right now or some shit? Hitman's Bodyguard or something?
Yeah, that's that shit. Anytime you see Selma Hayek in some shit now, it's probably not gonna be good. Like I don't know what it is about Selma Hayek. Like
shout out to her. I love you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we lit.
I'm not. Nah.
I see Selma in spandex.
I was always more a Catherine Zeta-Jones fan.
Nah, I fuck with Selma.
She gave,
Yeah.
what's her name? Cancer.
She did, yeah, through cunnilingus. Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah.
Rice. Anyway, what else did I watch? I've been watching these weird YouTube documentaries on like breakdowns on fashion. I watched a new one called like The Rise and Fall. And it's just called it's a series called The Rise and Fall. But they did a breakdown on the rise and fall of Black Scale, which was a brand that I was familiar with back when it was kind of in its heyday. And I was interested in what happened to them because I, like, during the time period I was doing shit for Atlanta Got Sold, they were one of the brands that had one of the better booths. And I knew them through other brands that I was familiar with, like Huff and Upper Playground from that area. So I just kind of, like, ended up paying attention just by proximity, but seeing what really happened and how like one of the owners was kind of like very vocal about how he felt about the criticism that his brand was receiving in the public space, and it kind of ended up contributing to the unraveling of their overall aesthetic, especially in the retail space. Like ideally I think a lot of these brands probably would have had trouble dealing with the economic downturn that came with the quarantine, but this was well before that. Like he started out on MySpace, and I think they're still thriving in a digital space. Like they still have a website that does like their merch and stuff like that, but no more brick and mortar stores. But yeah, I watched that, and then they did another one on 2000 to 2010 fashion, which is really interesting. If you listen to this pod, you kind of know we've talked about terrible times in fashion over our lifetime, and I remember Draft mentioning anime shirts. They have a whole segment on anime shirts. They got a whole segment on throwback jerseys.
That was still a great time.
Segment of the combination of hoodies and blazers. They talk about super skinnies.
Polos.
No, they don't talk about two polos. I think that was more regional.
Shutter shades.
No shutter shades. I'm gonna go back and watch it again because they covered a lot of ground. Like it was a lot of stuff that we probably could go back and be like, yo, y'all left this out. But yeah, I watched that today. What else have I watched? I watched a lot of basketball. Shout out the Suns, man. I'm hoping y'all close it out soon. I'm really rooting for Chris Paul. Yep. What have I been listening to?
Or a day.
Yeah, I'm a big duck.
Yeah.
What have I been listening to? I did another Hughes playlist. So some of the highlights on there are Tendon Flider, Boom Clap Bachelors, Lindo Wanderlia, Water Got No Enemy, Philip Kunta, If You Want Me to Stay, Sly and the Family Stone, Summer Nights, Lonnie Liston Smith, Before Summer Ends, Keith Mansfield. Legend in His Own Mind, Gil Scott-Heron. I forgot about that song. It kind of was one of those ones I was like, all right. Also, Miss Me by Black Spade. Hopeless and Romanticizing. Really fuck with that project. Taji sent me this recently. Time Moves Slow by Bad Not Good. I love that song, by the way. Everybody's been chopping it recently on Instagram, and it's starting to piss me off because it's just fine. Stop fucking with it. The song is just fine. Time moves slow. Don't speed this shit up. It's almost an oxymoron. Tyler's album, Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah. Should have mentioned that.
I've been listening to that a lot.
Haven't listened to that yet, but I'm gonna get to it.
Very, very impressed. I often feel like part of being washed and taking in so much content at a point in time, like past the bloom of youth, you don't get excited about shit. It's just like, oh, it's good. Like, oh, all right. Like, okay. So he's done a great job with it, though. I don't want to understate it, but to be honest with you, I do feel like I expected Tyler to be rapping just from the promo. Like, his visuals are always on point.
So it's mostly a rap album?
Yeah, it's mostly a rap album. It's maybe one song where he's kind of doing the harmonizing, singing shit, but it's still solid. Like, I feel like he's doing what I thought I saw with Travis Scott and Birds in the Trap. Like, he tried to cover all genres over the course of an album and do it with his spin. It's a lot of bridges, a lot of transitions. Everybody knows if you listen to the album, like, DJ Drama is an acquired taste. But I do think the album without the DJ edit is a smooth, like, flowing album. You can definitely listen to it and be like, oh shit, it's over.
It's crazy that he did an album like that, because I tweeted, like, I didn't even know he was doing it like that. It was just like a week before, or maybe 2 weeks before. I was just like, I got this crazy idea that what if we didn't have a random nigga yelling over good music? I know it sounds crazy, but what if we just had music? But
Fat Man Scoop doing?
Party up. He's partying up somewhere.
Where's DJ Cool when you need him? I heard a crazy story about DJ Cool where, like, somebody heard, it was a basketball player that heard that song, maybe like Magic Johnson or something crazy, and introduced him to Dougie Fresh, and Dougie Fresh was the person who got it played on New York radio.
Yeah, I forgot who told that story. I did hear that, but
anyway. Salt 9. They just dropped a new album. It's 10 songs. Really, really easy listening. If you're familiar with Salt, after the thousands of times we've mentioned it on this pod, this falls in line very well with the other stuff that they've put out. I don't know how I feel about it in the range of albums that I like or listen to in heavy rotation, but it's definitely the current album I'm listening to pretty much continuously. My fault. That and Tyler, I've just been doing a crossover between as I play the song accidentally. What else have I been listening to? Let's see. With my search history. On Your Own, Layla Hathaway. Lost for Words, Pink Floyd. The Thorn, Willie James Jones III. Innocent Till Proven Guilty by Honeycomb, which is the song that Kanye used for Testify on B. Best of Mandrill. Been going through a lot of their old shit. Mango Meat, Symphonic Revolutions, House of Wood, and podcasts. I listened to No Chill podcast with Gilbert Arenas and Lou Williams. It was a really interesting podcast. Lou Williams seems like a real Atlanta nigga. I get all the antics. Like, his conversation seems very reminiscent of a nigga you went to high school with. And I kind of like, I was kind of against basketball podcasts, but I kind of guess I had to find the right one. So I'm gonna dive more into No Chill. It definitely feels a lot less like labored. I went through all the smoke phase, but fell out of it pretty quickly. So I'm gonna give No Chill a shot. Walsh Gods, of course. Dr. Marty McFly. I like that episode. I'm not even gonna flex. That's the only reason I got it on I listened to it twice, and I usually don't listen to my shit like that. I'll watch it one time on YouTube, and that'll be late. So I run the risk of falling asleep. I just want to make sure it's there. Crack the door on the baby, close it back, go to sleep. Been listening to, what's the name of that other shit that you put me on? I can't remember it. Dollop again. And Hound Tall. Been going through some of their older episodes. I like history. I think there is probably more to be said about like having Black history stories. I just don't know. It's gonna take a specific person to do that type of research. But it is interesting to hear people recant stories and give their own narrative. And I think that's about it.
Dodge, you got some shit?
Got a little bit. Been listening to Tyler, the new Salt. Created a playlist called Où est l'amour. Myself, Jay Morris. Been kind of listening to Chicano Batman. I'm not sure what space in which I would really listen to it later on, but it seems interesting enough for me to listen to it more.
What the fuck is that?
Chicano Batman?
I'll send you some shit. Yeah, it's interesting. I posted some shit on Twitter about it. Voodoo, Patrick Page too. And I've been listening to this audiobook called The Address Book. It's basically explaining how your address, like your zip code of where you were born and where you predominantly stayed in your childhood, will pretty much, like, they can predict the trajectory of your life.
Oh, I've heard that premise before. I forgot where I heard it. Maybe I heard he might have been on Tangentially Speaking, like the author.
It sounded like some shit.
Yeah, because I definitely just heard that premise recently. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Recently got a free trial to Paramount Plus, so thank you for that. Been watching All Real Monsters. The new SpongeBob shit, and I just recently found a hard drive that I had in storage for a long time. So I've been watching Misadventures of Flapjack as well.
Oh shit! I forgot about that show.
I had like all the seasons on it for some reason. Really fucked with that.
Yeah. I wonder if that's on Hulu. It's got to be. It's Cartoon Network.
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
You got to revisit that. All right. I guess on that note, we are Washed, Never Washed Up.
Washed, Never Washed Up. Episode 67. Appreciate you for rocking with us, all the guys and goddesses out there. Like, subscribe, share.
Yeah, shout out to No Limit Exposure and 404 Creators.
Shout out y'all, man.
Us, you see them.
Gang.
Yep.
All right.